You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
New high-tech red light cameras are going up in Sarasota. We'll tell you how these are different. If you want to work from home, we have a scam alert you'll want to hear about. At least one local resident fell victim. And hitting home, we'll tell you about a protest planned for today on Sarasota's Bayfront about the U.S. decision to move the U.S. Embassy within Israel. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. 5 o'clock, good morning, Wednesday, May 16th. I'm Ray Collins, glad you're with us. Stephanie is off today. Busy day in the weather office. First alert morning, John Scalzi.
Yes, indeed. We had some heavier rainfall out there. This is from the Riverwalk in Bradenton, and you can see the kind of obscure sky and maybe even a pop or two of lightning there if we're lucky. Well, not seeing much right now, but trust me, there are rain showers around. Let's go to radar, and you can see those showers that are about. The heavy stuff came in from Gulf waters and has moved closer to the Skyway Bridge. That's now headed off towards Hillsborough County. We are watching some showers move through Bradenton right now, kind of pulling out of the city of Bradenton, actually moving on toward Palmetto. So if you live in Palmetto, yeah, you're seeing the rain showers kind of heavy, but they're starting to lighten up just a little bit. Moving on toward Parrish, you're going to get some heavier rainfall in about a half an hour. Then down to the south, Inglewood, you're about 15 minutes away from seeing some of that rain move on shore, and some of it could be heavy as well. I think that cell will probably start to weaken as it gets closer to Inglewood, but still retain enough heavy rainfall that there could be a brief period of some pretty driving rain. So for you early commuters, just be careful. There could be some leftover water ponding on some of your roadways, particularly in and around the Bradenton area. An area of low pressure continues to spin, and nothing remains changed really with that system over the last 24 hours. It's still very weak, disorganized, ragged, only has about a 10% chance of any kind of growth over the next several days. So basically it's a rainmaker, and today will be no exception. We'll have rainfall totals that could exceed an inch up to 2 inches today. The reason we're calling it a first alert weather day is because of the potential for some minor flooding, ponding on roadways, things like that, especially as you head home this evening and the rain showers start, especially if you're a late commuter. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few, Ray.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Let's check first alert traffic right now. There's a look at the maps. Nothing much to speak of so far as far as congestion goes, but keep in mind the roads are slick right now. There's anywhere from sprinkles to downpours breaking out. Let's check farther south now on the maps on the northern half of Sarasota County. And we'll find out there is an issue to talk to you about already right there at University at I-75. We'll click on that now and find out more about that together. There's a ladder in the second to right lane on the road before exit 213. That's in the northbound lane. So that could come up on you fast. Be aware of that if you're heading northbound this morning on I-75. Otherwise, the lower half of your screen, you'll see there, well, now it's in the upper half of your screen, the top left corner, 41 southbound as you get past Clark Road and head south. Early issues there as you get toward Central Sarasota Parkway. Otherwise, one other little blip there, 41 northbound around the Charlotte and Sarasota County line in Northport. 5:03 right now. Half a world away, protesters of the U.S. Embassy move to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv will rally today in Sarasota. Marla Spence is live now along the Bayfront with a preview. Marla?
Good morning, Ray. Today, whether rain or shine, protesters will be here at Marina Jack to voice their concern and also to speak out against what they say is a massacre against Palestinians. Now, dozens of Palestinians were killed this week when demonstrations near the Gaza border turned violent this week. The protests happened as Israel celebrated the U.S. Embassy's move to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. Yesterday was also a landmark in the Middle East. Israelis celebrated its anniversary of the Jewish nation established 70 years ago. Palestinians also have a name for it. It's called Nakba Day, or the Day of Catastrophe, when more than 700,000 Palestinians were displaced from Israel. The local protest is organized by a group called Answer Coalition, whose aim is to stop war and end racism. One organizer says the group supports the Palestinian struggle for freedom.
This is about human rights and right and wrong anywhere. Killing peaceful protesters is wrong. We want to go out and call for everyone to stand in solidarity with Palestinians' right of return to their ancestral, to their homeland.
Brian Ellis with Answer Coalition says his group is not anti-Semitic. He says many of his members are Jewish. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to give you more details on when exactly today this protest will be happening at Marina Jack. I'm Marla Spence reporting live in Sarasota for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. No charter school for Palmer Ranch after the school board rejected Pinecrest Academy's application last night. It was a 4-1 vote. Board Chair Bridget Ziegler cast a lone vote of support. Pinecrest has charter schools across the state and wanted to open a new K-8 school in Palmer Ranch. Critics say they don't want public money going to a for-profit enterprise.
Anytime that public money is going to for-profit enterprises, I think we're detracting from what we do for public education. Sarasota has excellent schools, and we need to keep them that way.
We would like to see the money going into the traditional schools. They're great here, but they can be a lot better.
Now, Pinecrest Academy says it was never given the chance to respond to the concerns about their application and that its board will meet to decide what steps to take next. New details now about a stabbing in Northport earlier this week. 3 people are now behind bars. It happened in the 2300 block of Villa Green Avenue on Monday. Northport police say a witness saw the fight and rescued the victim, Alexander Perez. Perez had several stab wounds in his back. The witness took him into her apartment and then she called 911. According to the police, Ronaldo Manaral, Anthony Moore, and a juvenile were at the scene when police arrived, and they say that the suspects had blood on their hands. Witnesses say they saw the victim and the suspects arguing with each other earlier in the week. Right now, red light runners won't see a flash in their rearview mirrors anymore in the city of Sarasota. Earlier this year, city commissioners voted to upgrade the cameras using a new vendor specializing in cameras that don't flash when drivers run red lights. The new vendor will replace cameras at 20 intersections across the city. Supporters say the flash is less distracting for drivers, but there are still opponents to the whole concept of red light cameras in the first place.
Good tool to save people, especially down here with all the drivers that don't know exactly what is obviously, I'm from San Diego and it's not, I don't ever see this many accidents. We came down here and we were like, wow.
I think they can actually cause accidents, in my opinion. Different states have actually taken them down because there's been lawsuits each time. So I think maybe at a certain point that's what will happen here in Sarasota too.
The city will pay $70,000 a month for these cameras, but they expect to generate much more than that with citations they pass out. In fact, last year alone, the city mailed out 30,000 tickets for $150 apiece to red light runners. The Better Business Bureau says work-from-home shipping scams are common and often quite elaborate. This is Mike Stewart. He said he saw a job posting online, did his homework, and even had an attorney read the contract first, but he still fell victim to a scam. They paid off his credit card and then gave him the money to buy iPhones. His only other task, shipped those phones to an address.
Every move I made on it, I thought it through. I said, there's really no way for them to get me. There's no way. I mean, they're putting the money up front, I'm using the money, they're paying it again. I'm not out. I was not out a single dime the whole process.
Now, the bank told Stewart they weren't authorized to draw money from that account. Therefore, the credit card company sent the money back to the bank. Now his debt has doubled. The Better Business Bureau warns that high payouts and work-from-home setups like this should be automatic red flags. Happening today, Governor Scott will be at the Governor's Hurricane Conference in Palm Beach. He'll discuss preparations for the upcoming hurricane season that starts on June 1st. It'll be held at 9 o'clock this morning at the Palm Beach Convention Center in West Palm Beach. Now, also today, the governor will visit Jewish day schools to highlight security and funding. He'll be at the Torah Academy of Boca Raton and also the Shabbat Naples Jewish Community Center to highlight the $2 million in security funding for Jewish day schools statewide. This will take place at 10:45 a.m. in Boca Raton and 4 p.m. in Naples. The governor has a home in Southwest Florida. Party City has unveiled a new line of decorations for Ramadan, and it's a huge success so far, they say. Ramadan is the holiest month of the year for Muslims. It begins at sundown last night. Party City is offering specialty Ramadan items in a limited number of its stores and online on a trial basis that include balloons and tableware and gift bags and banners. Party City says many of the items are already sold out online. The retailer has more than 900 stores in the U.S. and Canada. Party City is believed to be the first national U.S. retailer to offer a dedicated line of decorations for Ramadan. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, extreme weather overnight in the Northeast leaves rescue teams saving people from flooding. And later in the hour, summer right around the corner, what officials are reminding people to keep their eyes safe from the sun. First, here's a peek outside. No sun coming yet early this morning by any means. Wet roads, some drizzle. John, I got caught in a bit of a downpour coming to work this morning.
Yeah, it's out there, and it is moving across the area right now. We're going to see probably about 2 hours of this rainfall. Then we get a little bit of a break, kind of like we got yesterday, and the showers then will redevelop. It's a first alert weather day, though. And this morning, about a 40% chance of a scattered shower, mostly near the coast. I don't think inland will see a whole lot of rainfall. And then as we head into the noontime hour, a little break followed by the reemergence of showers and thunderstorms. Be a breezy day today, though, so the rain box is checked for your drive time forecast. Showers this morning, followed by thunderstorms later this afternoon. Complete forecast in a minute.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business. Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
I call it a first alert weather morning because we have the potential of seeing some minor flooding a little bit later on today with the reemergence of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Some places have gotten sufficient amount of rain that the ground is getting close to saturated, so we could see some ponding of water on roadways that could impact your evening commute. Other than that, we have a chance at seeing some more showers over the course of the next, probably hour and a half, 2 hours today. About a 40% chance this morning that it might impact your morning commute. Otherwise, things after these morning showers will lighten up just a little bit. So by mid-morning into the early afternoon, it'll be kind of similar to yesterday. There'll be an isolated shower or two popping up, mostly in inland areas. Rain chance at about 30% by noon. But then with a little daytime heating, we have the potential of seeing those thunderstorms redevelop later this afternoon. About a 50% chance of that. And some of the rain could possibly be heavy, leading to that minor flooding that I was talking about. As we head into the evening, I think we'll still see those showers around. They may build back toward the coastline from the inland showers earlier in the afternoon. So everybody gets a shot at some rainfall again today. Not necessarily a bad thing, but certainly a wet pattern. And that wet pattern locked in place probably for the next 5 to 8 days, I would think. We've got some clouds. These are the ones that are producing the rain showers, kind of spinning through the area, but there are breaks in the clouds back behind that, and that's the kind of thing we'll see as we progress through the morning. Well, as the dawn breaks, we'll get a little bit of sunshine in places, particularly south of Sarasota, and then we'll enjoy, I think, a little bit of sunshine mixed with fair weather clouds through the morning and into the early afternoon. Right now, the heaviest of the rain falling up around Parrish, as we mentioned about 15 minutes ago. That rain shower activity moving out of Bradenton, out of Palmetto, moving up toward Parrish, eventually up into Hillsborough County with this particular cell. Then things lighten up just a little bit. It could have left behind, though, some fairly heavy rain that ponded on some of the roadways in Bradenton, so watch for that if you're a Bradenton commuter. Down to the south, Inglewood, get ready. You're about to see those showers move on shore in about the next 15-20 minutes, and some of that could be heavy as well. All of this part of the general circulation around the area of low pressure, which continues to spin in the Atlantic, but is really showing no signs of intensification or organization or anything that will probably approach tropical storm status at all. So we're not looking at that. 70-degree temperature, dew point 69, kind of a muggy start to the day. Wind southeast at about 8 will be increasing in intensity this afternoon. It's going to be a breezy afternoon. Small craft should exercise caution out there because of those winds that'll be picking up. As we look across the weather map, this area of low pressure continues to produce that troughiness. It continues to very slowly lift north, getting absorbed by this frontal boundary, spreading its moisture through the deep south and the Florida peninsula. It's a wet pattern that's going nowhere. And we have the potential of seeing perhaps by the end of this thing in some parts of Florida, some 12-inch rainfalls, which is pretty impressive. We're already about twice the monthly average, and we're closing in on being right at where we should be for this time of year. So good news there. Extended wet pattern, periods of heavy rain, and then storm shift inland by the weekend, I think. We'll watch the winds, breezy, as I mentioned. Exercise caution, boaters. Maybe not the best day for boating. Today, 85-50% chance of rain. I think we'll do the same tomorrow. And as we head into the weekend, maybe a stronger wind out of the southwest shifts some of those storms into inland areas. And then next week, guess what? Another low pressure area develops in the Gulf, continuing the wet pattern. Ray?
Oh boy. Okay, thank you, John. Let's check the wet roads right now as you head out today. There's some early build up there on State Road 70. In the eastbound lane as you head toward the interstate. Also, as we head farther south now on the map, we'll click on an issue there at I-75 and University. There was a ladder in one of the middle lanes, second to right lane, northbound. There's still a ladder there, so not funny if you come up upon that fast. If you're heading northbound on I-75, be aware of that issue right there. Otherwise, not much else to speak of congestion-wise. Just do be careful of the wet roads as you head out this morning. And here is a chance to learn more about new roundabouts being planned for the Suncoast. Yeah, 2 more off State Road 64. Before we talk about that, let's talk about the Riverwalk in Bradenton. This is the live shot right now from the banks of the Manatee River, not too far from the Bradenton Police Station. Looks like at this moment there's not a lot of rain going on. That's feet away from the Riverwalk. I think if we were to pan to the right, you'd see the river right there. So a pretty shot. We'll check back on that throughout the morning. Now on to those roundabouts I spoke of earlier. There's some being talked about for State Road 64 in Manatee County, and some residents there are very pleased that they're coming. Some folks there in the area want some reasons to slow down on the very fast stretch of road. So the state DOT wants to put them in east of the interstate at Grayhawk Boulevard and also at Lorraine Road. You can check out the plans at a public workshop next week. It'll be Tuesday at the big Bayside Community Church in Bradenton from 5 until 7 p.m. All right, new video just in of the extreme weather overnight in the Northeast. Severe storms slammed the regions, leaving neighborhoods flooded and also left a train stranded in 4 feet of water. At least 3 deaths are now confirmed, along with 500,000 power outages. ABC's Diane Macedo has the story.
Overnight, a flooding emergency in Frederick, Maryland. A creek is overflowing its banks after a slow-moving storm dropped 6 inches of rain. Those downpours also left this commuter train stranded in several feet of water, forcing dozens of riders to move to the top level of the train car.
It got kind of shaky, nervous when the conductors came on and said, "We need everybody to move." Because we were in a double-deck car. I need everybody to move until the higher portion of the double deck. That was because of the water was rising and became it got kind of scary for me.
Elsewhere, rescue teams pulled dozens of people from the floods. Farther north, the storm is being blamed for at least 3 deaths, including an 11-year-old girl. Police say she and her mother were sitting inside this SUV in Newburgh, New York, when a tree came crashing down on top of them. That city closed every one of its roads because of downed trees, power lines, and debris. The high wind sent this trampoline flying across a yard in New Windsor, New York, shortly after a tornado warning was issued. At New York's famed Grand Central Station, it was a travel nightmare. Thousands of commuters stranded after the Metro North Railroad was shut down.
A lot going on the tracks with, I guess, trees and water, I guess flooding and all that.
And outside Boston, trouble on the roads. Video from this car shows lightning hitting a street sign. The slow motion shows a direct hit. Diane Macedo, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, caught on camera. A corrections officer in South Florida facing a felony misconduct charge after allegedly using pepper spray on an inmate. Plus, some changes for Amazon Prime members, where they'll soon get some new discounts. Stay with us, those stories and John's first alert forecast coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
A corrections officer in South Florida is facing a felony misconduct charge after using pepper spray on an inmate. The Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office announced the charges against Colonel Patrick Riggins on Tuesday. The charges stem from an incident last year with an inmate named Mazard McMillan. He and others were told to get on the floor. Well, prosecutors said that surveillance video shows that Riggins pepper sprayed McMillan despite McMillan complying with orders. Prosecutors also said Riggins told a subordinate to file a false incident report to justify Riggins' use of the pepper spray. He now faces a felony charge of official misconduct by a public servant. The state says he will be fired. 5:25 right now. Amazon Prime will soon get an extra discount at Whole Foods. Details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, deeper discounts for Amazon Prime members.
Prime members in Florida will soon get an additional 10% off Whole Foods products that are already discounted. The promotion will expand nationwide this summer. The online retailer purchased Whole Foods last year. And it appears red is the popular color for smartphones.
Yeah, Samsung says it's adding a burgundy red to the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. It comes a month after Apple released a candy apple red iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. And the internet is torn over a robot's mysterious word.
Laurel. Laurel.
Okay, so some say the audio recording says Laurel. Others say it says Yanni. Here it is again. Here's what happens when you change the pitch.
Now what do you hear? Yanni, of course.
Laurel every time.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites. Sponsored by Safelite Auto Glass.
So you think this chip is nothing to worry about? Well, at Safelite, we know sooner or later, every chip will crack. These friends were on a trip when their windshield got chipped. So they scheduled at Safelite.com. They didn't have to change their plans or worry about a thing. I'll see you in a little bit. And I fixed it right away with a strong repair they can trust. Plus, with most insurance, a Safelite repair is no cost to you. Really? Being there whenever you need us, that's another Safelite advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Delivery should look like this. Crisp leaves of lettuce, freshly made dressing, clean food that looks this good. Eaten at your desk. Panera. Food as it should be. Now delivered.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin 24-hour relief when allergies occur. Day after day after day. Because life should have more wishes and less worries. Feel the clarity and live Claritin Clear.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local boys and girls clubs. Great futures start here.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it.
My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
A developing story, North Korea threatening to cancel the upcoming summit with the U.S. will tell you why. And a protest being planned tonight on Sarasota's Bayfront in solidarity with Palestinians after the decision to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel. And a new retirement trend could put a dent in our snowbird population. Those stories next on Good Morning Suncoast. 5:30 right now. It is a first alert morning. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie Webb is off today. Let's get details now of the forecast from meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yes, indeed. As you just saw on radar, showers have moved onshore from Gulf waters. As you woke up this morning, you may have seen those lightning pops, if you're an early riser like we are, lightning pops out in Gulf waters. That has moved onshore through Bradenton, moving now up into Hillsborough County. Taking a look at radar, you can see the heaviest of the rainfall now leaving areas of Parrish, moving up toward Hillsborough County along 62, 301, 75, all seeing some moderate rain falling at this hour. And then down to the south, Inglewood starting to see some of that heavier storminess move onshore. Minnesota, Inglewood, all in line for seeing a brief period of some heavier rainfall. As that moves onshore, it will tend to weaken. And still, with the heavier rains and with yesterday's rains, it still, even in a weakened state, could lead some ponding on some roadways, so do be careful of that. Area of low pressure continues to spin in the Gulf waters. Again, this morning, there is no signs of any development, only a 10% chance being given by the Hurricane Center. There'll be an update coming up at 8 a.m. We'll have that for you on our First Alert weather app. We're looking at about a 40% chance of storminess this morning, particularly along the coast, mostly in the form of showers, followed by a little bit of break, maybe a peek at the sun as we head into the mid-morning and early afternoon, and then this afternoon into the evening, a redevelopment of thunderstorms. Complete forecast coming up in a few. Back to you, Ray.
All right. Thank you very much, John. Right now, we are going to take a look at the maps. First of all, this is the situation. You'll see 14th Street West in the southbound lane as you head toward Bayshore Gardens, some early congestion there. That area is often known to flood, so be aware of that part of the road in case there's some water ponding there. Otherwise, pretty clear in Manatee County. Still an ongoing issue on I-75 northbound. As you get past University, there's a ladder in the second to right lane on the road. Hopefully that'll be cleared up before the morning commute begins in earnest. Otherwise, nothing else to speak of in the northern half of Sarasota County. South County, all clear right now at 5:33. Some local residents opposed to the embassy moving to Jerusalem plan to protest on Sarasota's Bayfront later today. Our Marla Spence has a preview from Marina Jack. Marla?
Good morning, Ray. Half a world away, protesters of the embassy move to Jerusalem will be here at Marina Jack to rally today in Sarasota. Now, that group that will be rallying is called Answer Coalition, and they'll be at Marina Jack to voice their concern and speak out against what they say is a massacre of Palestinians. Dozens of Palestinians were killed this week when demonstrations near the Gaza border turned violent. The protests happened as Israel celebrated the U.S. Embassy's move to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. Answer Coalition is the group spearheading the local protests. Their aim is to stop war and to end violence and racism. Organizer Brian Ellis says come rain or shine, he and his group will be at Marina Jack to support the Palestinian struggle for freedom. Now, people can expect to see signs and hear chants from those protesters between 7 to 8 tonight at Marina Jack. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Meantime, the Guatemalan president is in Israel for the dedication of the Guatemalan embassy today. This will be the official opening of the second embassy in Jerusalem. President Jimmy Morales and his wife were received by Israeli diplomats as well as the foreign minister of Guatemala. Meantime, plans for next month's summit between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un have hit a speed bump. As reporter Janae Norman tells us, North Korea doesn't like some annual military drills between the U.S. and South Korea.
A setback for President Trump's highly anticipated high-stakes summit with North Korea. The North angry about annual U.S.-South Korea joint military exercises now underway.
We have not heard anything from that government or the government of South Korea to indicate that we would not continue conducting these exercises.
The State Department seemingly caught off guard. North Korea abruptly canceling a planned meeting today with South Korea, and the North Central News Agency with a message the United States will also have to undertake careful deliberations about the fate of the planned North Korea-U.S. summit in light of this provocative military ruckus. All this just a week after President Trump welcomed home 3 American prisoners released by North Korea, praising Kim Jong-un.
I want to thank Kim Jong-un, who really was excellent to these 3 incredible people. I really think he wants to do something and bring that country into the real world.
President Trump making clear his main objective is a denuclearized Korean peninsula. But overnight, North Korean officials in a statement warning if the U.S. is trying to drive us into a corner to force our unilateral nuclear abandonment, we will no longer be interested in such dialogue and cannot but reconsider our proceeding to the DPRK U.S. summit. And a top North Korean official warning President Trump not to follow in the footsteps of his predecessors, saying if he does, he will be, quote, more tragic and unsuccessful. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
All right, switching gears now at 5:36 in this hour's Health Smart. As we get closer to summer, doctors want to remind you to take care of your eyes. Along with the heat also comes UV rays from the sun. A nonprofit group has declared May Ultraviolet Awareness Month. UV rays can damage your skin and your eyes. An optometrist says there are simple ways to protect your vision.
Sunglasses that block 99 to 100% of your UVA and UVB rays, which are the most damaging. Buying them from a reputable store is another way to ensure that you're getting the best protection possible. Wearing a hat outside just to block UV damage from skin and the eyes as well.
Now, the risk of UV rays affecting your eyes increases if you spend long hours in the sun, also have certain retina disorders or have a cataract issue. Also, certain medications can have an impact on your eyes' sensitivity to light. Consumer news now. Businesses across the Suncoast rely on snowbirds and tourists, of course, but a new retirement trend could actually hurt the local economy. It's called the halfback phenomenon. Nothing to do with football. It's where retirees from up north move to Florida and then decide to move halfway back up north. Census data reportedly shows that from 2010 to 2017, migration to the so-called Appalachian states increased 169%.
People we call the halfbacks, the people who have come to Florida and then decide to leave and go to not all the way back to where they came from.
Now, the Venice Area Chamber of Commerce did report a very active tourist season just now. They didn't see a lot of slowdown happening in the near future either. Happening today also in Venice, a Women's Health Expo for National Women's Health Week. There'll be speakers and presentations as well as information about healthy living. It'll take place from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Plantation Golf and Country Club on US 41, just south of Jacaranda. Still ahead, a World War II veteran gets a surprise of a lifetime, the milestone that he's reached, and the royal wedding now just a few days away. But how much do you actually know about the American bride? We'll walk you through Meghan Markle's life. Here's a live look right now at the White House in Washington. The lower floor is all lit up right now. Upstairs all dark. You can see the Washington Monument there in the back right top corner, just the side of it there, and the flag above the White House as well. Pretty shot there. Not a very pretty picture locally as far as the precipitation goes. What do you have, John Scalzi?
Well, in some places things are lightening up a bit. In other places we are seeing some rain showers develop, especially down around Inglewood right now. For the morning bus stop forecast, well, it looks a little dicey near the coastline particularly. There will be, although a temperature of 70, scattered showers about, especially near the coast during the morning hours. About a 40% chance of that. Then on the way home this evening, thunderstorms will be developing at about 3 o'clock in inland areas, and then later in the day building back toward the coast. And there's about a 4 out of 10 chance of seeing outside recess today, depending on what time, of course, recess is held. It will be a little bit rainy during the morning hours. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
It's a First Alert weather day, first because of a few scattered showers around this morning, maybe even a thunderstorm or two during these morning hours, particularly along the coastline, that could kind of slow up your morning commute. And also because on the return trip home this evening, there could be showers and thunderstorms around. And because of the recent rains, there may be some ponding on roadways as well as some minor flooding in low-lying areas if some of the rains get heavy. We're looking at about a 40% chance of coastal showers this morning, 72 degrees by 7 a.m. And then as we head into the mid-morning, I think we catch a little break. Maybe the sun even comes out as dawn breaks and we get a temperature lifting to about 83 degrees with about a 30% chance of an isolated shower, and that'll be mostly in inland areas. Then as we head into the afternoon, those inland showers gain in intensity and coverage to about a 50% chance, and we'll watch them start to build back toward the coastline as well as we head into the 7 p.m. hour. Everybody gets a shot at some 50% rain chances, and some of the rains could be heavy because we'll see thunderstorms this afternoon. So right now, the heaviest of the stuff that was located up around Parrish is kind of lifted out toward areas of Hillsborough County. And then we're only left with some moderate rain falling along 301 and 75 going up toward Hillsborough County. Moccasin Wallow seeing a little bit of moderate rainfall as well. Down to the south, Inglewood is now seeing some heavier rainfall moving onshore. Actually, from Venice all the way south to Rotunda, we're seeing some moderate rain falling. Moving in toward Northport, you're seeing some light to moderate rainfall there. The heaviest of the rain showers moving onshore toward Minnesota down through Inglewood. And that's periods of some brief, fairly heavy rain that could actually lead some pretty slippery roads out there and some ponding on the roadways. After we get rid of this line of showers, I think we probably might catch a little bit of a break. This cluster of storms that you see out here, kind of in line for Pinellas County and points to the north of that, may clip Anna Maria Holmes Beach, maybe Upper Longboat Key and into Bradenton as we head into the next hour. But I think by around 10 o'clock or so, we start to get that little bit of a break that'll last till probably around 2 or 3. You can see the clearing that occurs down to the south of the cloud banks that are moving through now. That's going to allow for that little bit of a break in the precip. 70 degrees, our current air temperature, dew point 69, and that wind out of the southeast will get breezy today. The low pressure area that's responsible for this unusual weather for this time of year lifts north, opens up, and is absorbed by a frontal boundary. But later in the week, may see another upper level low develop out in the Gulf, which will again help to reinforce this southerly flow of moisture and continue our wet pattern, possibly into the middle of next week. We'll watch for an extended wet period, periods of heavy rain possible, and then those storms perhaps shifting inland a little bit by the weekend as we develop a more southwesterly flow. Southerly today, though, and breezy, 15 to 20 knots this afternoon. Small craft, exercise some caution. Forecast looks like this. We'll talk about a daytime high today of about 85 with a 50% chance of rain. Over the next several days, we stay wet. Over the weekend, maybe the rain shift a little further inland, but the wet pattern continues into next week. Ray?
Thank you, John. Here's the first alert traffic right now at 547. Nothing much to speak of so far as congestion in Manatee County. There is still an ongoing issue as we look at the map there at University and I-75. Northbound lane, a ladder in the second to right lane. I'm going to send John Scalzi to go get that ladder in a second here. That's the northbound lane of I-75. Hopefully that'll clear up soon. Otherwise, no problems in the upper half of Sarasota County. And then checking the lower half of the viewing area, we'll find out that there's not much to speak of right now at 547 on your Wednesday morning. With the royal wedding on Saturday, all eyes are on the bride, Meghan Markle, but how much do you actually know about her? ABC's Maggie Rulli has a closer look at how the American actress is adapting to her new role as royalty.
He's picked a self-made woman. She's a feminist, extraordinary American success story.
What makes Meghan different from anyone else who has ever married into the royal family, and that she's biracial.
Before she was making history, Meghan Markle was a kid growing up in Los Angeles, where her dad was a lighting director in Hollywood. Her parents divorced when she was 6. When her father moved to Mexico, Meghan stayed in LA with her mom, nabbing her very first acting gig at age 19 on General Hospital.
Just 1 second.
And then in 2011, becoming best known for her role as Rebecca Zane for 7 seasons on the show Suits.
You wouldn't even know where to look without me.
But Meghan was always pursuing 2 of her passions, majoring in both theater and international studies at Northwestern University. It was her humanitarian work that bonded her with Prince Harry. They were set up on a blind date in July of 2016, and their connection was immediate. In November of the following year, Harry and Meghan announced their engagement. But with the happiness that followed, so did scandal. Just days before Meghan's father was supposed to walk her down the aisle, Thomas Markle told TMZ that he was going in for major heart surgery Wednesday morning following a heart attack last week, and he wasn't going to be able to make the trip to London at all. Even before news broke out of his current heart condition, Meghan's dad's name has been splashed across the tabloids after an embarrassing report in Britain's Daily Mail accused him of working with the paparazzi to stage photos. Kensington Palace said Harry and Meghan are asking for understanding and respect as they look forward to the big day.
Meghan wants to keep her own identity and to make her own stamp on this day.
The previously divorced biracial American actress will soon be making history in her new royal family. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
And keep it right here on ABC 7 for Harry and Meghan's royal wedding this Saturday morning. Coverage starts at 5 a.m. That was quite the surprise party for this World War II veteran, Floyd Winters of Mississippi. He marked his 100th birthday surrounded by family and friends. All the tables had pictures of Winters, who was born back in 1918. To put that in perspective, back then a brand new car cost $500. That's your monthly payment now. This display of affection left Winters almost speechless.
Oh man, it's unbelievable. Can't believe it. I thank all of you, though. I love you all.
Happy birthday to you. And by the way, Floyd still has a valid driver's license and says the secret to a long life is clean living and a glass of red wine every day. Well, it seems to have worked for him. We'll update the day's top local news headlines and have more of the forecast after this. Stay with us.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC 7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC 7 on Facebook.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
I'm Alan Cohn. Opioids, doctors have to follow safety steps before prescribing them, but there's a problem. The one company distributing the drug is the same one enforcing the safety protocols.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Here's some of the top stories on this Wednesday morning here on the Suncoast. Sarasota's school board turned down an application for a charter school in Palmer Ranch. Opponents say it's not a good use of tax dollars. The school board also cleared the way to shut down School Avenue while class is in session at Sarasota High. The road cuts through the middle of campus, and some call it a security concern. The City Commission now votes on Monday on the same issue. And the Tampa Bay Lightning bounced back last night to beat the Washington Capitals. Final score 4-2. The Caps lead the best-of-7 series 2-1. Game 4 is tomorrow night. Next hour, the move by the U.S. on Monday kicked off a week of unrest in the Middle East. What locals are planning on doing to stand in solidarity with Palestinians tonight. Also, drivers on the Suncoast, listen up. Some new changes will come to red light cameras in Sarasota. We'll tell you what that's all about. But first, let's get the forecast one last time this hour from John Scalzi. John?
Ray, thanks very much. Showers mostly east of the interstate in the southern parts of the viewing area, from Venice down through Rotunda, and then to the north moving into Hillsborough County. Some light to moderate rain falling in Manatee. The good news is this has really helped out in terms of our drought indexes and fire danger. We're now in the low category to moderate category over all of the Suncoast, so that's good news to see. Beach forecast for today, not so good maybe. The UV index will be low, but daytime high will be about 80 near the beach, or at least the sunset temperature. And there will be showers, afternoon thunderstorms, and a very breezy wind. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in about 5 minutes. It's a first alert weather day. Right?
Yeah, certainly eventful out there right now. Saw some showers on the way into work this morning. Here's a live shot right now from outside our building, our tower camera showing plenty of lights out there. In fact, you can also see some flashing lights down there at 10th and 41. That's where they're starting to install a new roundabout. You can see the flashing lights there, and then also Sarasota Bay and Longboat Key way off in the distance. We've got much more local, national, and world news all queued up straight ahead on the next hour of Good Morning Suncoast. See you in 2 minutes.